Okay, so after Joe Biden sent his defiant letter to, I suppose, members of Congress, I mean, it was really a public letter since he tweeted that out saying he intends to stay in the race, he decides to call in to Morning Joe. A little surprised. They had not planned this. They cut in, and Joe Biden is on the phone for an interview. Here's some of how that went. Here's a little highlight reel. We're going to try and be super disciplined and let this play through. It's about 4 minutes. We'll probably laugh at it quite a bit, and then we'll talk about it after.
So we noted yesterday that it was quite a contrast. The people that were supporting you yesterday compared to, say, a lot of the Washington insiders and Hollywood moguls, and go down the list of very powerful people that want you out compared to the support that you had in Pennsylvania yesterday. That said, there are a lot of people of goodwill who love you, who believe you did a great job in your first term, who are still concerned. Yesterday, the topic came up of the Stephanopoulos interview, where you were asked the question, how would you feel if Donald Trump beat you? How would you feel after you lost? And you said, well, as long as I did the best I could do, that's the most important thing.
He said.
Goodest. That's right. That's right. You misquoted him. He said, as long as I do the goodest I could do. Right.
that losing is not an option. What would you say to those who are concerned by that answer?
It's not an option. And I've not lost. I haven't lost. I beat him last time. I'll beat him this time. And this is a guy who, look, we talk about debates. Look at his performance at debates. He lied over, Trump has 50 lies. I mean, look, this is a guy.
First it was 28 lies.
Of the universe. I want to get into it. He's just a liar. And he hasn't done a damn thing.
I'm sorry. I try my best not to stop it. I try. First, the line out of the debate was he lied 28 times. That was the fact checkers, that's what they said. Biden ran with that. Mm-hmm. Now he's saying he lied 50 times. And it's funny because he's never actually articulated one of the lies he's talked about. Now, so he says 50 remember. Instead of 28, and he goes to recall one, and he says, never mind.
Trump has 50 lies.
50 lies.
I mean, look, this is a guy who says 10% of the universe. I want to get into it. He's just a liar.
And he hasn't done a damn
thing since the debate.
You don't even have to remember it. You're calling in. You could have it. Don't you have a piece of paper in front of you? Wow.
He's been riding around in a golf cart for 10 days. He's down in Mar-a-Lago talking with his wealthy friends. I'm not running because of these guys, Joe.
Okay, so you have repeatedly said that all of these people and entities...
I don't need this. I don't need this working class hero crap.
The New York Times editorial board, The Economist, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Boston Globe, Jerry Nadler, Seth Moulton. Let me go to Julian Castro, Tim Ryan.
You see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Remnick, Richard Haas. Yeah, I know which one you're responding to there. Zeke Emanuel. But they're saying that you should step aside. So what is your plan of attack moving forward? These are pretty big names.
Is to go out and keep doing their big names. But I don't care what those big names think. They were wrong in 2020. They're wrong in 2022 about the red wave. They're wrong in 2024. And come out with me. Watch people react. You make a judgment. Mm-hmm. You make a judgment. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm going to have all these foreign leaders here. I've been in contact with the new British Prime Minister, anyway. Look,
anyway.
The country, the rest of the world's looking.
I still feel no obligation to finish my sentences, even after all this is going on.
And here's the deal. It's not going to happen here this time around. The American public is not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot. Just a straight shot. Everybody gets
your hand out of my socket!
Number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party.
The elites.
They know so much more. But any of these guys don't think I should run against me. Go ahead, announce the president. Challenge me at the convention.
Wow.
On Europe, the polls are wrong in France. They're also right. There's no right wave or tide here in America either. By the way, in case you're wondering whether there is one, have you ever seen Trump run away so fast from what he's for?
President Joe Biden, let's make this a thing. Thank you for calling in.
I just had to throw that in at the end. That was at the very end. Yeah, let's make this was fun.
Yeah,
this was great.
Let's have a cringe, awkward call in from you every day.
Every day. Why don't you call in and do this every day? It'll be like FDR's fireside chat.
Yeah,
right? Just the same thing. Just regular
only incoherent and terrifying.
Only terrifying and incoherent. What a sack of shit this party has become. I mean, it is such karma to be like, 8 years ago, convinced Hillary Clinton was going to win, and now here you find yourselves, these two idiots, just staring at the camera, hanging on the every word of this just puddle of a man who can't even get a sentence out, who can't even get a thought out. But he mentioned twice in that little snippet, this whole interview was 18 minutes. I sort of cut together like a 4-minute highlight reel there. But he mentions twice in there that the party elite want him gone. He calls them, he mentions them by name, the party elite. And then in response to Mika's question earlier, where she rattles off the list of names, including like David Axelrod and Jerry Nadler, they're not the elite. They're the foot soldiers, as I mentioned last time. The elite will, in my opinion, open their mouths if they have to. But you could see twice, yes, that underdog, underestimated Nixonian resentment come through. He doesn't really like these people. He doesn't like the party bosses because they never liked him.
Right.
They only made him vice president so that the white Midwesterners would feel more comfortable voting for a guy named Barack Hussein Obama. It's the only reason he's president now. It's the only reason he was vice president then.
That's why whenever they say, what do you mean he's a racist? He was Obama's vice president. That's why they picked him.
That's why they
picked him. To reassure the racists that they had one of their own in there to keep an eye on Malcolm.
Exactly. That is why he was chosen. That's exactly why he was chosen to be the VP. And he always had a resentment because, this has been written about how Biden's inner circle were all these, young, handsome Ivy League types, the John Favreau types, right? And they would always look at Biden as the doddering old beer-drinking idiot, right? They always looked down on him, even when he was vice president. They never really respected him. Yeah, he's the guy we had to bring along to get the Midwestern white people to vote for us in Michigan, right? And so he has a resentment about that, and he's being very difficult. Yeah, he's being very difficult. Look at that, and don't take it from me, folks. Here's Jake Tapper reacting to this video. This was a pretty hilarious piece of video.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly. Many Democratic officials with whom I've spoken.
Let him read that.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly. Many Democratic officials with whom I've spoken are worried that President Biden and his family and his inner circle appear to be in complete denial, not just about whatever might be wrong with him, but the state of his candidacy right now.
Yeah, I'd say so. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you notice, if any of you were on LibWatch, George Takei accepted. They're mostly kind of shutting the fuck up now.
Yeah.
They're mostly starting to quiet down. They just don't know what to do. Here's Jake Tapper, who one of my Pod Save interviews called his favorite journalist.
Right.
He's held in very high regard amongst these blue and on types. And then you have Joe Biden telling them something else. They don't know whether to shit or go blind right now.
Well, yeah, they're used to this being one happy family of delusional bullshit where Jake Tapper and Morning Joe and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, we're all on the same page. We have our narrative. We have our buzzwords that we throw out there. We have our Trump bashing, and that's it. We all agree. Now, there is conflict. There's conflict among that upper echelon who the rank and file lib lemmings look to. And they don't know what decision to make because they're not used to having to make decisions.
Right. They're not used to having to think.
Right. They're not used to having to think.
They're told one uniform narrative. It's very Monarchian. It's very good versus evil. It's very simple. If you got a red hat on, you're the orcs. And we're the good guys. And we're going to fight at Mordor. And they don't have to deal with these kinds of complexities.
Please clap.